Now we studied that synapse is a junction between the two neurons, or it can be a junction between the neurons and the muscles. Fine. Now then we seen, okay, what are the functions? Why there is existence of the synapse? Yeah. Why we have to study the synapse? Then we seen that, okay, these synapse, they form the neuronal circuit. They form the neuronal circuit in our, you can say, the central nervous system, and this circuit is served for the, you can say, the communication between one neuron to another neurons. Yeah. And for by this formation, okay, there is a point-to-point coordination. There is a point-to-point coordination, the precise coordinations. Yeah. And then we seen, okay, fine, understood that the synapse is a junction between the two neurons. Okay, it's from the neuronal circuit communication, and this communication is helpful in the point-to-point coordination. Okay, then we see, okay, this synapse is it's anatomically, you can say, structuralized, or they are functionally sterilized. Then we seen, no, there's no any anatomical, you can say, the connection. If it will be anatomical connection, it's very difficult to break. It's difficult to break, and if it's difficult to align, because you've seen in the bone healing process, or you can say that when the bone is fractured, then it takes a one kind of appropriate time, one period of appropriate time to heal. And if that same thing, time consuming process is happening in this, you can say, the synapse, then we become very slow. No, it's become very slow. Yeah. So in the fast coordination, so for serving the fast coordination, there is no any anatomical connections. There is only a functional connection which is done by the gap junction. Okay, which is done by the gap junction. We will see the meaning of the gap junction. Then we seen, okay, the synapse is not only limited to the between the neurons, to one neurons to the another neurons. This synapse also involves the muscles. Okay, this neurons also involves muscles, and that is termed as a neuromuscular junction. Okay, and there's a problem. Sometimes this connection is disrupted. Okay, interrupted by some of our own cells, which is drunken, our bodyguard cells, that immune cells, and result into one kind of autoimmune disease, and that we call it myasthenia gravis. Myasthenia gravis. Okay. Now this synapse is subject to break and reform. Okay, continuously breaking and forming. And one of the point I told you is the memory formation. Okay, memory formation is kind of synapse formation. Okay, synapse formation. I was studying one article, and that article shows when the long-term memory synapse broke, okay, there is a destruction in the mitochondria. There is a loss in the mitochondria. So I just interpreted that, okay, always you can say, no, creating a memory is not a good thing. It's a loss. It's a loss. Okay. It's a kind of loss. So now we can find only on our, you can say, the lecture only. We will see ahead about these things later. Now, once we discuss the introductory part, understand the meaning of the synapse, okay, understand the characteristics of the synapse. One thing I forget to tell you, and that is, synapse only not help, okay, in making the connection. Okay, making the connection. First, I will draw just one functional diagram of this synapse. Suppose you know that you have neurons. Yeah, neurons have nucleus along with the cell body. Okay, and they possess the sensitive part, and that is called as the dendrites. Okay, then neurons have one long extension, and this extension is termed as the axon. Okay, axon have the endings, then we refer as a terminal ending. Fine. Now then we have the another neuron. Suppose here their cell body is oriented. Okay, and there is a long again axon. Yeah, and there is a one endings, or you can say axonal endings. Okay, fine. And there's the dendrites. Yeah, are you recalling the structure of the neurons which we discussed deeply? This was a separate video. If you're not, then go and watch. Yeah. Now, the thing which I want to put in your mind, okay, is that this connection is referred as a synapse, first of all. Okay, the connection here, the axon ending of one neuron is rely on the dendritic part of another neuron, and this connection is referred to as a synapse. Okay, and now till now what we understood that it is help in the connection. It's help in the connection, point-to-point coordination. But the modern research says synapse only not transmit the action potential. Okay, synapse, okay, not only transmit the action potential, rather it also process the action potential. Means whatever information, see, it is, you can say, attached with muscle. Okay, and there is a, you can say, the receptors on the muscle. Okay, now if I'm just I'm hammering it, okay, and there will be a activation of some of the pain receptor, nausea receptor, okay, and the message is sent via these dendrites to the cell body, then the axon, and then it's again go to the another, and then it reaches in the higher system. Okay, you can say the pain center, okay, where the pain is modulated, okay, and appropriate kind of signal is sent. Understood? No problem. Now the thing is, while the action potential, while the message, okay, the message is called as the action potential. Understood? In simple terms, the message which is come from the, you can say, the glands, organs. Here we are referring as a muscle, okay, and in muscle there is a pain receptors, we hammered it, there is a sensation of pain, and this is went via this cell body, then axon, then another neurons, okay, with the help of synapse, then go into the higher system in the pain receptor. Most of the dull pain is modulated in the spinal cord leaving. Now the thing which we have to understand is that while this message is traveling, these synapses, they are not only help to transmit, okay, it's also process, it's measure. Yeah, it's measure the intensity of the pain. We are taking the only example of right now, the pain. So it's measure the intensity of the pain, okay, and it's sending one appropriate kind of the signals, okay, it's sending the one appropriate kind of the signals via which the another neurons will take the right step. Understood? No problem. Now one function you can remember now, that it also help in the process of the information. It's also help in the process of the information. Now, once we understood about the synapse, now come and discuss the classification. The classification is very easy to understand. Okay, it's very easy to understand. So we are now discussing the classification. Okay, now the classification of synapse. The classification of synapse is done, okay, on the two bases, on the two method. Okay, here the basis is two bases. On these two bases, the synapses are divided. One basis is called as the anatomical basis. One is called as the anatomical basis. Okay, no problem. And another is called as the functional basis. Okay, fine. One is called as the anatomical basis, another one is called the functional basis. We've seen the one diagram, no? We've seen that one diagram, that there is a one neuron. Yeah, there is a one neuron, okay, and there is another neuron, and there are dendrites, okay, and they have nerve endings, they make the one kind of connection. So these connections, okay, where the one neuron joined with the another neurons, understood, this connection is kind of the anatomical basis of division. Are you understanding? This type of connection is the basis of anatomical, you can say, the division, anatomical type of classification. So in the anatomical type of class, it's very easy to understand. And why I'm just saying you, see, this is a one possibility. How many possibilities is here? Possibilities. Either the one neuron's axon can rely on the another neuron's dendrites. That's the one possibility which we highlighted already. Yeah. Or the other possibility is that the one neurons here on the dendrites, maybe their nerve endings, they rely on the another neurons directly on the soma, or we can say the cell body. That's the one possibility. Yeah. Or the another possibility is that the one neuron cell body, okay, one neuron cell body, and the another neurons is oriented like this. The first, their axon is present. Yeah, their axon is present, and then their, you can say, the cell body is present. Okay, this is different, you can say, the orientation. Now, then there may be a connection between this axon's ending and this axon's ending. See, there are only the three possibilities. And according to that, there are names. Okay, according to that, there are names. See, if the one, let's come with this easy one. If the one neurons, the first neurons, axon endings rely on the another neurons axon ending, or make the connection between the another neuron ending, it means there's a connection between the axon and axon. Okay, yeah, there's a connection between the axon and axon. So this type of neurons we are referring as a axonic synapse. Understood? No problem. Yeah. Now, the another possibilities we've seen, okay, this is the first one, this is the second one, this is the third one. The another possibility is that one neuron's nerve ending, or we can say the axonal ending, is rely on directly on the cell body of another neuron. Okay, so it's a kind of, yeah, the another kind of classification we can refer as a another kind of classification we refer as a axosomatic synapse, because they are relying on the soma. Soma is called, cell body is also known as the soma. Okay, cell body is also known as the soma. So it is called as the axosomatic synapse. Are you understood? No problem. And now, the third one, you are wise enough, you can tell me. See, one neuron's axon rely on the another neuron's dendrite. It's the axodendritic synapse. It's the axodendritic synapse. No problem. So these are the three types which is divided on the basis of anatomical. So anatomical classification constitutes the axonic synapse, axosomatic synapse, okay, and axodendritic synapse. No problem. Am I clear? No problem. Yeah. Now come to the functional classification. The functional classification is two types. Okay, it's two types. The first type. Okay, here should only I write. The first type is chemicals. No. Electrical synapse, because why I am writing first, I will tell you. Electrical synapse. Okay, and the second type is our chemical synapse. Okay, the first type is the electrical synapse, and another type is the chemical synapse. The basis is the functional. Okay, basis is the functional. In the electrical synapse, okay, there is a direct flow of current from one neuron to the another neuron. Okay, and in the chemical synapse, there is a gap. Okay, because they are taking the gap, I don't know for that reason or why, they are most widely present in our body. They are most widely present in our body, and they are not taking the gap. Okay, they are making direct, you can say, the connection through the gap junction. So they are rare in our body. Okay, they are rare in body, and if you want where they are present, then they are present in the cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle, okay, smooth muscles. Then in some of the part of the GIT, I don't know you heard or not, there is one kind of system that's called the enteric nervous system, okay, that called as the enteric nervous system. This is a very special kind of system, nervous system, and which is present in the GIT. On that system there is a electrical synapse. Apart from that, the epithelium of the retina, okay, they also have the electrical synapse, okay, epithelium of retina. So these are the three locations. First of is cardiac muscle, second one is smooth muscle, GIT, and the epithelium of retina. So once again we are discussing the classification, and we seen that the synapse is divided on the two bases, classified on two bases. The first basis of classification is anatomical, okay, and this anatomical classification is first of all very easy to understand, and there are three types. Axonic synapse means one neuron's axon ending is rely on the another neuron's axon, and that is referred to as the axonic synapse. Then there's axosomatic synapse. One neuron synapse is directly, you can say, rely on the cell body or soma of the another successive neuron, that we refer to as the axosomatic. Then we have the exodendritic, means the one neuron, the first neuron's axon is rely on the dendrites part of the another neuron, okay. Then we see that there are functional classification as well. Functional classification is again the two types. One is called electrical synapse, one is called the chemical synapse. The fundamental difference is electrical synapse is fast synapse, okay, and chemical synapse is bit low. And the another distinguishing feature between these two synapses is that the chemical synapse have one gap, okay, while the electrical synapse, they won't have any gap, okay. And about the electrical synapse, where they are present in our body, as I said, they are rare. They are only confined on the cardiac muscle, smooth muscle, GIT, and the epithelium of retina. Now, generally, if we talking about the synapse, it means we are talking about the chemical synapse. Whenever in the papers, okay, whenever in the research paper, whenever in the textbooks, you are going with the synapse, okay, the idea which immediately you can say stuck on your mind is that they are talking about the chemical synapse. Write down. So now onwards, the synapse word is synonymous to the chemical synapse. But no, it's a human tendency. We encounter the lower things, but they are also present. Don't forget, the chemical synapse are, it's the electrical synapse. It's also present. Understood? No problem. Now, it means we have to study the chemical synapse in detail. Isn't it? If it is synonymous with the synapse, okay, the interchangeable with the synapse, it means we have to understand it, the chemical synapse in detail. But what we first do, we first just correlate between the electrical synapse and the chemical synapse, and then go in detail of the describing the chemical synapse. Okay, done.